Welcome to the Spalding Show with myself, Weston Spalding, and my twin brother, Wyatt Spalding. We just turned the big 3-0. This is just the beginning. This is start. This is where we rise above in our athletic careers of the dream of becoming pro athletes when we have no shot at becoming pro athletes, but we're still going to train for something crazy because that's just what we do. So, kind of going into that, we're going to talk about three things that we thought were the biggest things we learned in our 20s and three things that we want to accomplish, whether in sports, job, personal life. Why you want to start it off? And we'll start with the three things you learned in your 20s.
I'll do the three things I learned. Real
Go.
quick about the pro athlete thing. That our best friend Kenny Bristol always says we're really old, but yet we're probably in better shape than a lot of the people.
Yeah, he always talks about how old we are because we're older than him by like a year. But
Everyone in our class, but it's all right. No one's ever seen The Rookie or Invincible? Those guys made the pros at like 35.
yeah, and technically you can make the senior open in golf or wait, there's a senior professional league in tennis, right?
There might be, I don't know. I think there's like the practice matches or whatever, but yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'll take it.
But yeah, so we still have an extra 5 years. So, all right.
I'm talking about when you're 50.
Oh, 150, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about making the actual pros because those guys did it.
Oh yeah.
The rookie and the invincible. So, I mean, that would be funny though. But yeah,
Got 5 more
so
years. Make something happen, Wyatt.
I know I'll have to. I'll be at the US Open in 5 years for
There you
tennis.
go.
All right, so I'll go top three things I've learned in my 20s. Things will happen for you at the right time. I have no
Amen.
patience
Amen.
whatsoever. And so, like, let's see, when I was 20 years old, yeah, 20, between 20 and 22, something like that, I was like, oh, I'm going to move out. 22. I'll do that in college. Didn't happen. Was going to move to Hastings with you. Didn't happen. Was going to move out twice in Fremont. Didn't happen. And then I moved out like when I was 29. So it took me, was it 7 years? 22 to 29? Bad at math. So something like that.
No, you're right. You're right.
And so yeah, so 7 years, extra 7 years, really an extra like 11, because you're supposed to move out at like 18. I guess in our situation, like we were 19 when we graduated high school, so it took me 10 years, but still, it's a decade behind. And I've come to the fact that my life is just weird. Like I'm always like I'm like ahead in some aspects because I did have to grow up faster, but also behind in some things because I had my medical and disability stuff. So yeah. I learned that everything happens at the right time. Doesn't mean I can be happy about it, that I'm not behind, but just suck it up and go along with it. And even though like I did move out, I still went to like the USA Games with you, did all that. The School Messenger thing that I do is like kind of out of nowhere. So I mean, that was a blessing. So, yeah, I mean, and then I was supposed to go to in our last episode. If you watched it, if not, go listen to our last episode. Talk about how I missed going to Italy. So that was supposed to happen, but that now did not happen. So, but I'll probably have other cool opportunities. So, yeah, I mean, just like everything happens for a reason. I don't know why I got bronchitis or a staph infection again. What the heck? But that probably makes me mad the most. Like that's another
The
staph
new
infection.
one for you.
I know,
Usually you
like
didn't get them.
it's in my sinuses. Whatever. Listen to the last episode, people. But
Yeah.
anyway, just like uh the whole, you know, my life is just gonna like take more time than probably like at least the people like we are friends with than everyone else. And everyone else has adversity too, obviously.
Mhm.
I don't know what everyone else goes through on a daily basis, but for me, it's like, all right, well, this didn't happen to me for at this age, and we're 30 years old, but I feel like I'm like experiencing stuff you would at like 22 to 24, like just
Mhm.
like living on your own, being more independent. So I was like, that's fine, whatever. My friends are like anywhere from like 20 years old to 70, 60. I don't know. I have a big range of age wise and friends, so and that doesn't bother me. I could probably talk to anybody. So, but yeah, so just like take your time. Things will happen for a reason. But I'm not gonna say I'm always happy about it, even though from the outside world, seems like I always have a pretty beat up or pretty high attitude.
Yeah, you do seem beat up all the time. Seem
I
like
do.
beaten
I am
down.
beat
No, I'm just
up,
kidding.
bro, but I am. That people don't realize, like, because I talk to you and Dad, I'm probably the most vocal about with, and you're just, you guys also like, all right, well, what do you just suck it up? Like, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it now. So, but
Mhm.
yeah, so just like always have like a upbeat attitude, that's what I meant to say. And but really like it's tough. But I've still gotten to do a lot of cool things and we get to do cool things, miss out on cool things, probably, and my whole cycle. So, and then probably like, like friends that you make, like a lot of people like come and go in your life. Like I had friends in college I was pretty tight with for a couple of years and now I don't talk to them anymore. And I have a couple friends that I still talk to through social media from college or maybe high school. So it's just like, you want to make friends or keep the ones you gotta like kind of put in an effort. So like sending a text, calling people, yeah, going out. I struggle with this, but going out and trying new things, struggle with that. So
Mhm.
that's kind of my thing. Also, like my thing is like if I do try, then like like this, I've been sick forever. So it's like you gotta get back into the rhythm of it. Well, that's hard to do, especially like when you're older. Like in school, it was easy, it felt like, because you had class and activities at the school. But now it's like, all right, well, I can't go do this now because I have a work thing. And then like for a couple weeks you can go, and then all of a sudden you can't go because you have a work thing, or like you get sick. So I struggle with that. So I gotta work on that. And but also like the friendships I've kept, like I mean I have more time probably than a lot of like you and our friends, but you send a text here or there, call them every now and then. And there are some people like, yeah, I probably should have reached out to this person more, but phone work. My thing is the phone works both ways. So it's not always your fault too if the friendship kind of fades off. And it's for me too, if I haven't talked to anyone for a while, it's like, well, I wouldn't say we're not friends. I would just say we're not really close. So, but we were close at this time, and now we're not. So it's not that we don't like each other, it's just we went in different directions. And people change too. So, but and then also it's okay if you don't know what you want to do. Your whole 20s. I had no idea what I was going to do. Here's my goal when I got out of college. One, did not finish college. I did not. Mom thought I would go all four, and dad was like, yeah, no, I didn't think you'd go all four. I just want you to have the experience, which is good because then I made good friends in college, and I kept like probably three or four really good friends. That was good. And then, so my goal out of college was I want to play in tennis tournaments. And that makes no money whatsoever. So for me, so I got a job, went back to my old job, which I did not want, but need the money. Did that for 6 months, got several jobs down the line, worked at a sporting goods store that I always wanted to work at. That worked out. Then was able to accomplish my dream of going to USA Games with you, which honestly, with my low level jobs, helped me a lot because I had a lot of time to practice.
Yeah.
So, uh, and then after that, didn't know what I was gonna do because it's like I felt like I worked so hard for this one goal was to go to the USA Games, and that was over. So we're like 27. It's like, what am I gonna do now? So then I got into podcasting, and that got me a job at Special Olympics, which was kind of like my plan. Not really Special Olympics exactly, but more like I know my resume is not that strongest, so maybe this will help. And it did.
Mhm.
So that worked out. And yeah, so the other day I also saw from our last episode, got some people that started to follow us, and one person at high position, a higher position than I know that does like sports and everything started to follow us. So that was cool. So I was like, all right, and I know this person pretty well. So yeah, so that was cool. So I was like, oh, this kind of works. Like people can see like how I'm doing in the podcast and got a shout out from one of my special friends, Daniel, the one who runs the Special Chronicles podcast, Special Mix. He listens to our show, so that was cool.
Amen.
So yeah, so just kind of like you figure out what you want to do, and it's okay to go a different path too. Like I thought I was gonna be a coach, and honestly, I don't think I really wanted to go. I think I just wanted to be involved in sports. But then also, it's like with Special Olympics, I was always kind of getting like pulled in that direction, like in a good way. Like God was telling me to go this way. I wanted to do sports, but it's like you gotta go towards Special Olympics. So I did, and I think it's great that I do it because I work in sports, but also it's like I can also enjoy sports outside of my work just for like pleasure, like watching sports and stuff. So like I have to like take notes on every game and everything. But it would be nice to maybe broadcast someday. So we'll see if that ever happens, but maybe I'll get into that or not. I don't know. But yeah, like the path I've gone has been rough, but also very rewarding as well. And we also went through a pandemic, so that was interesting. Did not see that coming in our 20s. But
So the three. Wait, was that your 2 points or was your third point?
that was my three. Wait, yeah. So things happen for a reason, the
Okay.
friends
Yep.
thing, and then you go with yours, and then we do the other one.
All right.
So
You just transitioned so well into things happen for a reason. So I was like, wait, what was his third point? Yeah, I would say uh the number one thing I learned in my 20s was like know your like core values because probably like mid 20s like I didn't have any core values and then it felt like I was already always doing the wrong things or doing it for the wrong reasons and it's because I never had like this foundation of how to dictate my decisions and then once I kind of sat down and realized like these are my personal like core values is like who I am in person what I believe in and they've changed like they probably changed every like 6 to 18 months so I always like to redo them and because then I can you just get like this weird feeling like you're being pulled off your path or the path you're supposed to be going when you're making decisions that aren't based off of your core values. Like one of them for me, I've had like every time I do it is like growth, and but then my growth goes towards like the other four. And like right now, like one of them is like develop wealth, whether that's so wealth you could say one. That doesn't mean just like financially get better, but wealth in like friendships and like time and I think like moments and memories for me are like wealth, like build those memories and moments. And I need to redo mine because they're gonna switch again here. Because I can just tell, I can just like feel it, like I need to redo them.
mhm.
But yeah, growth is always one. So if I'm not doing things that make me grow as a person or in my profession, relationships, outside, I always have to have like goals to chase. Um, when I don't have know those and I don't know how to make my decisions and I feel like they're off. And the big one time like before me and Audrey even started dating, had to sit down and think about those again. And then when I kind of like did that and like worked on myself and went to church more and got in my Bible more, I was like, you know what? I think I'm good with being like single for the next 6 months or a year or whatever. Like I'm cool with it. And then 2 weeks later, me and Audrey started dating because it was just like you said, kind of back to your thing, things happen for a reason. So yeah, like work on yourself and know your core values and that's going to help you determine like who to be with, whether it's romantic relationship, job. Even that sometimes like could be a good place to work, but maybe it's just not the right place to work for you. Um, like friendships, you got to know your core values so you know how to make those decisions. And the second thing I'd say I learned in my 20s is to, if you're going to build anything, like build it slow. Again, whether it's like job wise, business wise, relationship wise, fitness and health wise. I think I tried to build like my online thing too fast and it was the wrong thing for me. And now I kind of like restarted some of that a little bit and it's like going way slower. And like my career right now is going slower, but I can tell it's been building on good things. And I think you're a good example of that too. Like your YouTube channel started in the basement during COVID. And it was like you probably made videos for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
And like
mean,
and then you're just for at the Super Bowl at fan sided. Like they can build slow, but if it compounds, like compound effect, it's a great book. And just, theory in general, like, it's like, double a penny is only 2 cents, double that it's only four, then double that it's only eight. Like I'm not making any progress, but if you just keep doing the same thing I keep making it boring, stick with the boring processes of being consistent and being boring, then like it will compound over time. And that one I learned later. I feel like I learned that, didn't really learn it because I didn't stay with it. And now like this past like 2 years definitely have um failed at it and then had to relearn it. And now I'm like excited to see where all it takes in my 30s and stuff. And
Yeah.
the third thing was like there's a lot of things I wanted to like talk about, but this one actually I don't know why I said core values my first one, but this one um is definitely number one. It's just like like what you believe in. Like I guess it goes core values, but like know your faith more. Like um like if everything isn't like for God, and if I when I realize like oh this isn't really mine, so like God, so you take away that whenever you want. It's like you don't really own anything. Like everything is a gift like from God. So take advantage of any like moments and people and things like that. Kind of like you with relationships, like all those friendships we've made, those are gifts. Like you were put in that spot for a reason. Like think about for you and me, like we were premature, but we're supposed to be born in May, but we are born in March. We are born in May, we're in a whole different grade, probably. Like we're
Yeah.
like, and then like, mention Kenny, one of our best friends. Like we never meet Kenny. We never get that close with Kenny.
Yeah, we
So
never
like,
we never hang out with Kenny or like any of those guys, and yeah, it's just
yeah,
kind of crazy how that all like worked out. Our birthday also with us loving basketball, and we'd go to the state tournament in middle school, so that was always
yeah,
fun. Like our birthday, like around May, like what are we gonna do on May 1st? It's nice out, but there's no big sporting event like tournament wise.
yeah,
So I mean, yeah, that's kind of yeah. I I look at it too, like for me. Maybe just because I was a big reason we were born so early, like, yeah, like my life could have like changed, been so much more different. I mean, yours too, but like if I wasn't born with all the health issues. So like when May
yeah,
1st does come around, I do think about that. Like, well, my life could have been way different today. And
yeah,
maybe obviously not for the better because this is the life God wanted me to live, but still, like, not gonna lie, like it would have been nice not to have medical conditions and just have a disability. But
mhm,
it is what it is. Um, just deal with it, and for the most part, it's been great. Besides the whole medical problems, I like to call them technical difficulties.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, uh, just yeah, it's kind of crazy just how everything just happens for a reason, like I said, and like you said, core values are interesting. I think too, like with us being older than everyone in our grade. And with all the crap I had to go through, like growing up, especially when we were seniors in high school, like we just
mhm,
kind of grew up a little faster, which is like good now, but back then it was like, it was rough. Like, I remember dad telling us, I know he told me, can't remember if we were both standing there, but he's like, you're going through stuff like what a man would have to go through, but you're not a man yet. But you're just learning how to make these decisions now. You're just
mhm,
learning how to be a man. And you're gonna just have to make some tough decisions, like
mhm,
even as you get older. And this is, I don't think mom and dad wanted me to decide stuff at 18, but
mhm,
it was what it was. So, but yeah, so uh yeah, I mean, I think it's cool like you said your business, because I could tell like when you first started you seemed pretty stressed, and now you seem like, oh, like I did this well, I made a mistake here, but this is how I would do it. I'm doing it differently now. And I think it's cool like you are big about growing your own business, because I think those people are the ones that you knew you were going to face a lot of adversity, but you were willing to take it on. So,
yeah. And with like right now, it's just not like my main thing, I would say, but
mhm.
all the mistakes I made building it have helped me so much in this new gym I'm at where they like want me to grow this gym. So I'm like
Yeah.
an entrepreneur inside of a
Mhm.
business instead of an entrepreneur.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, like all those things I messed up at and like took me forever to do is now making this process go a lot faster, helping me see things a lot better. And like in it, I was like, this sucks. Like this sucks so much. I kept telling myself, like God always got a plan, but you never see the plan. And you're like, I'm not seeing the plan, God. Where's the plan? You know what I mean? Like, I don't see how this can help me at all. Like you never like see it. And same thing like even with basketball and like your stuff, like Like our senior night didn't go as the way as planned, but then we still made Pinnacle Bank Arena, and you still got Mega Three. Like that was cool. That
Dude, for
was like
you,
a full circle moment. Like, and
dude,
then
I
like
think,
like with
real quick, I think the full circle moment was I hit that shot in Florida, even though we lost the game.
yeah, I know
I
that
think that
too.
was the full circle because like I could have made the high school one, we were already winning, but I made a huge shot in a game that mattered. Like,
That was cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, I decided to like I mean, yeah, the Pinnacle Bank thing was cool, but I was like, I think the full circle was actually like you're gonna miss all these shots in high school, but you're gonna make one in like just
yeah, that's
one.
true. Like if you're gonna
So,
make one, make that one. Yeah, that
but
was just like had to be a cool feeling too. Like that's like
yeah.
feeling like I wanted you to feel then, but you actually got the actual feeling like hitting it in a big game. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think yeah, you just never know like God's plan for you, and um, it's hard to like try to listen to hit what He's telling you to do compared to what the world's telling you to do because you're gonna be you're following. I feel like if you're following God's plan, it doesn't make sense to everybody else because it's the worldly plan will always be in conflict with God's plan because the world wants you to follow the worldly like worships and views and stuff, but like following God isn't like popular in some sense, in some realms and situations. So it's hard to like know what to do. But then
Yeah.
it's crazy to think about because then God knows what you're gonna do before you do it. It's like does God already know the future? But then he gives you freedom of choice. So you have freedom of choice, but he already knows what you're about to do, but you have choice. So it's like messes with your mind, but you're not really supposed to understand the whole thing.
Yes.
Um,
We got told that in sixth grade Sunday school. And like that was one of the things I like never forgot. Like God knows your plan before you do. And I had
yeah.
just gone through like that year of being so sick with
Mhm.
the stomach issues in fifth grade. And
Yeah.
it was like, oh, so I knew I was gonna get super sick. And
You're like, what the
so
heck?
yeah, I was like, dang it. But and I'm not big on like probably talking about faith as much as like you are when I do my other podcasts. No, Jake is, but I do like now, like when things are tough, I was like I tell people all the time, like, oh, like when I tell them, like, oh, I've been sick with this and that and that, and like, oh man, that's awful. I was like, yeah, it's okay. Everything will work out in the end, and that's kind of probably how I kind of think about like God stuff is like everything will work out in the end. That's not God's not gonna let me like just fall off. I mean, if he wants me to die, I'll die. But I mean, everything will be fine. Like it's worked out so far. He wanted me to
Yeah.
live on March 7th, 1995 for a reason. So
Yeah.
not really saying the re like many times I was like, not really saying the reason right now, but I'll see it in 9 to 10 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I probably felt that when I was going to my back surgery because that was like the first, well, not first, but one of the first really serious things we had gone through. Because
Mhm.
obviously we don't remember when we were born, but
Yeah.
yeah. So
Well, what's three things you want to accomplish in your 30s?
so
Be
I
interesting to see
thought,
them now and then do this podcast again when we're 40 and see if we accomplish them or go a whole different route.
yeah. So I like thought of some stuff, and then I really just wrote like one thing down,
Yeah.
and
Could be
because
one.
like yeah, because like I'm more like. And I don't know if I use my health as an excuse or whatever, but I'm just like, well, if I do a bunch of stuff, I don't know if I'll accomplish anything. But if I do focus on one thing,
Mhm.
I probably will accomplish it. But like, I think it'd be cool to write a book. So,
Yeah.
and that could take like way longer, but like actually trying to write it, not like not saying to get published or anything, because
Mhm.
but I'm just saying like to actually try to write one and
Mhm.
then see what happens. Because I don't know if it'd be any good, maybe, but might as well try and see. And so I uh I wrote some stuff down for years that I could use in a book. And then
Mhm.
like 2 summers ago, I was always thinking of stuff. So like I've been in the process like thinking about it or like trying to do it. Problem is like I don't know how to write a book. And two, I can write like doing speeches has helped me, but I'm just bad at talking. So like
Mhm.
I started recording some stuff I wrote down. So then like I'd have all these recordings and I don't say it word for word what I wrote down. I just kind of go with it like a speech. And then maybe like I
Yeah.
somehow would add that up into a book. It's hard to explain really, but I
Mhm.
kind of started on it today too, like the recording process. So see how that
Yeah.
goes. Like if I would show it to like an author, so I'm like, here's what I got. I need your help, like trying to make this all make sense. Like, will you help me sell? Kind of like that. Plus, like now the position I'm in with Global Messenger and stuff. Um, you never know. So, I mean, I know people that are in pretty high positions. So maybe somebody, if I talk about it enough, like, yeah, I'm in the process of writing it, or I want to write a book, but don't know how, and this is how I would do it. And then they're like, oh, I can hook you up with this guy. And it's like, this author is like awesome because I suck at grammar. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's like my main thing. Like some other stuff too is like you said, it'll happen when it happens. Like I don't like to talk about this much, but why not? That's true. I want medical crap anyway. It'd be nice to like have a girlfriend someday. I don't know. That's hard to do too. I mean, I get it too. Like being disabled, like what's like really honest with me about like relationship wise is like mom. She's like, yeah, well, I don't think any of these dating apps are gonna work for you. I don't know why you're on them because you just do better in person. And let's face it, you're not really what a girl imagines like when they think about like marrying someone. Not that you can't, but it's just like you have to just like show yourself in front of people and like your personality, and then they'll love you.
It, it's
It's
funny
like,
because like people, me and her mom, like which like she's so sweet and nice. I'm like, but she's actually kind of like gives you like the hard truth a lot of
you know,
you're like, ouch, that kind of hurt. Like you
yeah.
would do something as a kid, and you're like, Mom, look at this. Like, well, it could have been better like this. And you're like, ouch, but she's right. But
But
yeah, she'll give you straight because like she obviously like loves us and stuff, and
yeah.
that's kind of our family though. It's like just straight up.
Everyone's pretty to the point. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I don't know, it just would be nice, but it can't
yeah, and
just
you're
like
trying. I know you're
you
trying.
can't like force it either. So, but
Yeah,
then
just
being
gotta let it
single
happen.
is
When you
cool
force it, it's
too.
never. Yeah,
Nah, being single is cool too because like you can like it's like well I can just focus on myself, do whatever I want.
yeah,
So I'm not responsible for anybody else. I mean, um, and then too like there are certain times like I really wanted a girlfriend. Like not gonna lie, like when you would have a girlfriend and then when you met Audrey, just like you're like jealous. You're like, well, why I would want to? Why can't I meet someone? But then it's like, well, just different lives and stuff, and happy for you. But it's also like, dang, I wish I could meet someone too. But yeah, it's tough out there. It's also tough when you get out of school. People don't realize that until you get out of school. So, but
mm,
yeah, I mean, we'll see. Whatever. Right now, I'm just happy I moved out, accomplished that one main goal. So,
yeah,
so yeah, that probably have a significant other someday, hopefully. So I got like 10 years before we do this again. See how a decade goes. Like, but
yeah. I was saying like we're always in a rush, but God's plan is never late, never early. So
ooh, that's a
those
good one.
there's a plan. Yeah, there's a plan out there for you. It's gotta keep
Yeah,
doing. It's like the
yeah,
hard part about being patient is figuring out what to do while you be patient, which
yeah.
is
That's
usually like
like,
doing work towards that thing, but it's hard to figure out which things to do
yeah. So that's yeah, it's just like yeah, just waiting for the right moment and stuff. So, but
and the
yeah, I
right
mean, those are
person.
like my two, I guess. If I think
Good.
of the third one, I'll get back to it. But I probably have something, but I'm just like, well, if I focus on too many things, I probably won't accomplish anything.
Yeah.
So,
That's yeah. This right here is why like we're good for each other because I'm like, man, there's like so many things that I'm like, oh, it'd be cool to do this, be cool to that, be cool to this. Um, but then it's like, I'm like, well, then I have to sacrifice this, and I'm like jumping all the time. But I would have to say, like in my 30s, um, like buy a house. Like I don't care if it's 31 or 30 or freaking 39. You know what I mean? Like hard to get a house out here. Hopefully, I would say
mhm.
the goal is like 30 to 35, the next 3 to 5 years, be able to have a house. I know I'm just gonna want one faster than that. But just like, all right, what do I do every day? Like how can I improve? Obviously my skills every day so you can make more money. And just knowing like God has a plan too. Like he's always looked out for us. Um and then kind of wrapping it into one, I would just say I want to grow just a gym and help like my lifelong goal because it's just like goal that like you never know if you're gonna meet. or reach is like help 1 million people, you know? It's like the only way you can help 1 million people is you help other people that are going to help people. So like grow a gym where I can like lead, um, like people, like basically kids coming out of high school, college who want to get into training and then just be really good at like the not only training aspect, but the people aspect, financial aspect, the nutrition aspect, accountability aspect, like just master it all so I can basically speed somebody up and be like, hey, you can do this a lot faster if you go like this route and do these things. And then, oh yeah, don't take this for granted and do this while you're taking this course. Because there's some courses, like if I was coaching while I was taking them, I feel like I would have learned them way better. Or like, um, just like, hey, you should probably know this stuff about how to, uh, accounting wise or financial wise. And oh yeah, if you're gonna open a gym, you should probably know how to be a little handy too. So you should take a class or a course if you have no idea like how to use tools or anything. Like if you're not handy, it's gonna be way harder. There's like little things you didn't think about. Um, and the fitness industry is going to change too with like AI and stuff like that. But I think like growing like groups and community and kind of going the opposite way, people are going to be dying for groups and community. And whether that's in like a gym or who knows, maybe I'll get super into like tennis or freaking beach volleyball or more basketball. I don't know, but something with sports, like just bringing people together. So growing a gym or some type of sports slash athletic fitness community that just helps people like grow, um, not only themselves but like people around them too. So I don't know, it's not like a very concrete goal. Can't really measure it. Just like more like stats when you get up to heaven. I wonder if we have a
Yeah.
stat sheet when we go to heaven. Like, hey man, you sinned this many times. You're like, oh, that's my bad.
I always think I'm just gonna be like in the waiting area. Which way will I go?
Go to heaven, man. It's only one way.
I know, but like
Fully believe.
you
If it's
think of
only
all the
100% or
sins you've
0%.
committed, it's just like you sit next to guys. It's like, all right, what'd you
And you're
do?
like, I'm not bad as this guy.
It's like, I gotta get in, but what is this guy? And then you sit next to another guy, it's like, why is this guy even here? He's definitely going up.
Yeah.
But um, but yeah,
Yeah.
um,
Some good goals.
yeah, we're gonna I got a fun thing we can do at the very end of this. I gotta tell you something I'm doing on the podcast. But yeah, I think we're pretty good at like we've always kind of been good at like what do we want to accomplish? I don't know, were you like did you always write down goals? Like when we were in high school and middle school?
I think so. I
See,
think I would, but they always would change. It
I
was
was
always
the
fun.
opposite. I always just had it in my head. I just
I
like
was like to write it down, plan it out, and then kind of adjust. I think like I feel like I'm always adjusting. Usually, like the goals are similar in some aspects, just certain
mhm.
things adjust. So
Yeah, for sure. Um, but yeah, so last night I called Wes, but did he answer? No, Wes doesn't answer my phone calls ever. Just kidding, he answers them 30%, 40% of the time. But anyway, so I've been sick for like half my season here. And I played in my first basketball game last night and we won like 51 to 49. So in the last 40 seconds, there was like four threes made. And uh
no way.
yeah, it was crazy. So first quarter, I had 4 points. I played like I think the beginning, no, the end of the first quarter. I don't remember. But yeah, the beginning I started. So then it's better. We used to do halves. Now we do 9 minute quarters. So the game is run by 2 minutes, but quarters are way better. We all get way more rest. And uh, so I scored 4 points in the first, and I was like, we'll see how this goes, like I'm still like kind of recovering, and I still might have a staph infection. And uh, so anyway, playing this game, and then the second quarter, when I go in, it's like I'm in the second group, but I'm the only athlete in. So for those who don't know special needs, I'm an athlete, but so they're just people with disabilities, and so I'm the only athlete in with other unified players, people that don't have disabilities. And I scored like 11 of our 16 points in the second quarter. And I like went off. I made a three double teamed and just drained it. And then
Damn. Nice.
But then like after that, I was like done. I used all the energy I had to score that 11 points, and I was just dog tired. And
Yeah.
uh, but then they put me in at the beginning of the third quarter because I was the first group to go in third, and it was just me again. I think they thought like I could do it again, which I usually can because I'm like in the best shape, but
Yeah.
I couldn't. So I went on a 5-0 run. And then I told him, gotta put the other athlete in too, like not just me. So I put the other athlete in, Tyler. So then we did better and stuff. And I didn't score any points in the third quarter. I haven't scored like any points in a whole quarter. So we get to the fourth, and we're unified player makes a layup, like gets a rebound, makes a layup to tie it. So then
Hmm.
this guy on the other team, all these threes are made by athletes. So
Yeah.
athletes with disabilities. And so uh Jared comes down, who's on the other team, and this guy looks like a left tackle. Like he's strong in shape and just huge. And he like just swooshes in this three. So he makes it. And then I come down. Like I said, I made a basket since the second quarter. I come down and I bank it in, I drain it, tie it up 46-46. Jared comes down again, hits another one. Then I come
Oh my
down,
God.
get a double teamed, bounce pass it to Tyler at the top of the key. He drains it. And then
Oh
they
my gosh.
and then and then uh Jared comes down, misses it. We get it. I get it to Tyler. He makes a layup. And then they come down again, miss it. We hold the ball, we win the game. It was one of the craziest
Dang, that's
games
crazy.
I had ever been a part of. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So, but when I made that three to tie it, it's all in little details. And like you told me, like when I kind of got a lot more consistent. And so like I wasn't like flicking my wrist all the way. It was like that
Hmm.
instead of like this. So like I was like, all right, I
Hmm.
just have to flick it. To focus on your wrist, on the flick of your wrist. So that's what I did, and that's how I made it because I flicked it.
That's
And
that's
so I
crazy.
banked it in, and yeah, it was crazy. So, but yeah, one of the craziest games I've ever been a part of. So,
Was everybody just like freaking out?
oh yeah, people were like, and I didn't even like, I know people were freaking out, but like, you didn't even hear it. Like it was just so
Yeah, you're just in the
intense.
zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like my friend Max, who's a unified player, he was like, yeah, when Jared hit that three, I just knew that Wyatt was gonna pull it. Like we're he's gonna do it, he's gonna pull it. Tie it up. So
Feel it. Feel the energy.
so it
Uh,
was awesome. So
that's
yeah,
sick.
I
Well,
mean,
let's end it there. That's a
yeah.
good episode. Good spot to end it on. But Wyatt coming in clutch. And Tyler. We know Tyler. You guys don't know Tyler, but he's a football player more than a basketball player. So that's cool that he got those last 5 points. But thanks for listening to the Spalding Brothers show, and we'll see you next time.